Hello everyone, thanks for joining me for another video looking through my record collection. We're at the very last stage now, the final few that are on the floor here. So once we're done with this, that'll basically be it. It has raised a lot of questions in my mind actually as to where such and such and such and such are. Now I did sell quite a few of my records before we moved house. And I'm pretty sure there's certain records that I'm thinking of that I didn't sell and I wouldn't have sold. Maybe I did. I'm getting old and my brain is a bit addled, as you already know from watching my videos, but I do feel as if I need to have a check in the loft in case there's a box or two up there with some other stuff in it. But anyway, be that as it may be, let's just go through the last few that are on here, and once we've done this, I'll do some unboxing of those yes boxes that I talked about, and that'll be the next series of videos that we'll do. So cracking on, this is an album called Kitchen Witch, or by a band called Kitchen Witch. It's called Earth and Ether. Very nice, attractive sleeve, gatefold sleeve. This is on the Cosmic Artifact label. And Bert is off again. He really doesn't like these coloured vinyls, does he? So really nice in a spread with lyrics. And the record itself is really lovely. It's kind of red with these very blobby splatters on it, and that side it's actually got yellow in the middle, yellow and orange. So really interesting pressing. Haven't got one quite like that. Okay. This is the other Judas Priest Bow to Our Masters pressing. So I showed one of these before. This is the Nebula multicolored vinyl on Wax Mage. So it's the same sleeve, obviously. So this has Bow to Your Masters labels. So really amazing Nebula. With yellow and all sorts of other colours in there. Wonderful kind of 3D effect. That's wonderful Judas Priest music played by very good musicians. And disc 2. Is absolutely incredible. On that side you've got all the colours and kind of splatters and wave forms, and then on this side it's kind of overlaid with white lacing. Just to give a fantastic effect. Beautiful record. So that's probably my favourite version of the two that I've got of that album. And it's just marvellous how they make them. Oh, I don't know whether I showed you the insert. There is an insert with this. So Great artist's impression of the band, and just credits on the back of the various bands that play on it. So it's quite a feat to get these bands to record all these songs, get them all remastered, put together as an LP. So yeah, definitely worth having. Okay, so this is Manthus, and the album's called Sentence to Rock. That's the back of the sleeve. Glory or Death Records, I think. No, it isn't, it's a Wet Records, on the Wet Records label. Wax Mage, of course. It's called the Negative Space pressing. Very nice insert with lyrics. So the side you're looking at, got purples, whites against a kind of a blue, translucent blue vinyl. So there's a tiny bit of negative space there, not much at all really. And if you turn it over, you've got a blue record. So that's really vivid blue. Beautiful nebulous waves. Fantastic stuff. And tiny bit of ordinary sort of clear there. Of course it's coloured on the back. So that's an absolutely gorgeous record. 50 of those have been made, sorry. Okay, next up, I think there's a sort of committee that says let's design the sleeve so that Ian Hartley can't read the name of the band. So we go to the spine as always. This is Void Tripper and it's Dope Fiend. So Void Tripper, Dope Fiend. That's the back of the sleeve. Again, Wet Records. That's the insert. You've got Wax Mage label. Whoa, look at that. Look at that. How beautiful is that? And then on the other side, vivid orange, vivid green, vivid purple. Absolutely fantastic. So one thing I do try and do is to not duplicate styles of coloured vinyl. So I don't want sort of 10 splatters with red on black or anything like that. So I try and vary it so that each one that we see, hopefully you haven't seen one quite like that before. Sometimes with the more common styles that's inevitable, and I've probably bought it for the music anyway, but but I think you'll see that where I've chosen the special coloured vinyls, the wax mage stuff, I've gone for ones that I haven't quite got a version like that before. This one's the King's Pistol, I Am the King, so top marks for clarity on the on the writing on the sleeve on this one. Single sleeve again. This is Majestic Mountain. So this one, oh, I think they've got a poster and some various bits. Yeah. So you get a poster with that almost sort of a Japanese style cartoon image. Is there something else in there? Nope. This time is orangey yellow with red in the middle and then black splattering coming out, which also gives you an effect of kind of green in places. The other side's the same, a bit more yellow maybe. So that's not one of the really expensive Wax Mage ones, but it's still a beautiful record, I'm sure you'll agree. And I think I remember playing that and being quite impressed by the music. So Majestic Mountain. Cosmic Artifact, Majestic Mountain, look them out. Okay, so Boutier Masters Volume 1, this is the first one they did, and this is Thin Lizzy. So again, the same process, bands on the label that have done their favourite Thin Lizzy track, and basically they put it together as a double album. Funny enough, Whiskey in the Jar isn't on there, Jailbreak's on there, so you'll probably find they've gone for the heavy stuff, haven't they? But anyway, that's the inner spread. I think this has inner bags if I'm right. Yeah. This is called just a nebula. So this is clear disc, purple and white with some negative space on the edge, and then that side you've got a bit more kind of pinky or red kind of splattered over it, splashed over it if you like. It's quite a lovely looking record. Second one again in the sleeve. Beautiful, beautiful nebula style, pinks and purples, and the side more purple and pink. How fantastic is that? So brilliant Thin Lizzy music, brilliant playing by the bands. and a lovely thing. 100 of those were made. Yeah, similarly on the Judas Priest one there was 100 made of those. Okay, Sea of Snakes, the Serpent and the Lamb. The Serpent and the Lamb. So this was the first wax mage pressing that I got. So it means quite a lot to me from that point of view. Again, it's on Wet Records. I got it through Glory and Death Records at the time. So you get a fold out insert, pictures of the band, lyrics and information on the inside. Wax mage labels. So very complex splatter. And on the other side, got more of the purple, deep purple. That was my first experience with wax mage. I have to say it's it's not let me down since. So really lovely. The only thing I didn't really like about this is the sleeve is a bit dark in terms of the image. Don't really appreciate that sort of thing, but there's worse, I suppose. Okay, so Watchman, Doom of Babylon. Wax Mage, another nebula with negative space. 100 of these were made. Quite an interesting sleeve. No insert amongst things for this one. So standard labels. Oof. How pretty is that? It's just wonderful, isn't it? The other side's even better, I would say. Those colours are just so amazing. That's focusing down. I mean, how on earth do they make that? Oh, it's got to be one of the prettiest records I've got. You would have no idea from just looking at that sleeve that that's going to be inside it. 100 of those have been made. I don't know whether they're all as beautiful as that, but there you go. Okay, Mystic Majesty, Speak Your Mind. Got a couple of copies of this one. This is on Totanos Records. So yeah, this is slightly an odd one. It's a Wax Mage pressing. Oh, it is on Wet Records. Sorry. Totanos is a mega guitar apparently. my eyes can't read it. So all along the bottom you've got logos and credits for all different instruments basically. So there must be some sponsorship going on there, I should think. This has caused me to stop and look at the sleeve. So side A, you've got wild, loud sounds, and you've got left side of the brain, right side of the brain, speak your mind and broken finger blues. Side B is holiness, anxiety, mind your speak, confessions of a restless man, and locked up. So there's no insert or anything. Standard labels. So we've got a split with multicolour kind of splatter and waves on the one side, red and black and white, and then you've got this sort of, on that side it's kind of a murky grey. But if I turn it over, that's really nice blue with the waves and the nebula and the that side has got less black, so it's a more pretty effect. Either way, it's mind-blowingly brilliant, and it kind of matches the colours on there. So no doubt that was deliberately done. So that's already a fantastically interesting record. And this is the same thing but a different version, which I've called it just the Wax Mage version. So this should be with Wax Mage labels. Yeah, so okay, so this is one of their special handmade patterns. It's a lovely deep kind of emerald green. And then you turn it over and the kind of pattern reverses itself in a way. But you've got more of that emerald green beautiful colour. And they're just wonderful things. So two very different versions of the same record, but I think you can understand the reason why I would have wanted both of those. Okay, so we've then got the Deep Purple Bow to Your Masters. This is the volume 2. So I think I showed you the other pressing of this. So this is the other one I've got. I might even have 3, maybe not. And this is called Multicoloured Splatter. So not Wax Mage, it's just a, shall we say, an ordinary splatter. It's still pretty good, pretty nice. The other one I showed you was the Burn edition, wasn't it, in the flame orange style. Then multicoloured splatters. This is sometimes the style you get on bootleg splatters these days, where they're really conserving the the colours so they don't sort of give you a sort of full splatter on the record, but still very effective. Beautiful bright colours. So I've got a feeling I've shown you two copies of that previously. Was the one with an art print, wasn't there? And then the burn edition, and then that edition. So I've got three copies of that. But it's deep purple, so or deep purple music. Okay, I think Snow Child. I thought I'd shown you this one, unless this is a different pressing. Just have a quick look. Right. Huh. I'm going to put that to one side for the minute. MF Ruckus, so it's called the Dirty Half Dozen, and double album in a gatefold sleeve. So, wax mage pressing, 100 of these were made. There's an insert as well. Oh yes, and there's a poster. So it's a sort of parody of the Dirty Dozen film. On the other side you've got, for some reason printed upside down, is credits and information on the band. Beautiful, beautiful splatter. The lovely patterns that they create. That's disc one. This is On Glory or Death Records. If that wasn't enough to wet your trousers, try that one. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. We should have a splatter competition, shouldn't they, and see who can outdo everyone else with the best splatter. It'd be hard pushed to beat that one. Right. So 100 copies of that version were made, the OG splatter version. This is the Wax Mage Nebula version, which only 25 were made. Everything else the same. Presume the inserts in there, yep. So we've got Wax Mage labels. Beautiful. Sound even more stunning. Fantastic. So that's very dark, but you've got all this gold. And turn it over. Get that. Amazing. Okay, so we're down to the last three. Stone house on fire. Time is a razor. This is a Electric Valley Records pressing. 2022. No insert. It's just a blue and mauve swirl. So a relatively ordinary one. It's limited to 220 copies, it says here. Hype sticker. So it was I've got 3 copies of the Judas Priest, haven't I? So Virtual Masters Volume 3. This is Wax Mage. Multicolour vinyl. Nebula style, 100 made. So we're pink. Pink and clear with a little bit of black. So a bit pink and girly for the priest, but maybe that's the point they're making. The second one was absolutely delicious. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So the last one here is one you've seen before anyway. Psychotic Reaction, Island of Light. So I think this was the sort of common version, if you like. It's almost just a plain colour vinyl. I'll show it to you anyway. It's just a green vinyl with a few little splashes on it. Nothing to... So, see, I wasn't building up to a climax, was I, on the last one, so shows you genuinely these are not planned, these videos. But so there you go. I just need to check something. Ah, right, okay. So, Snow Child, get it right this time. Snow Child 2. This is the second version that I've got of this. I showed you a previous version. I've got the name of the band wrong. This is Wax Mage 25 only made. So you've got Wax Mage labels. So on that side you're looking at effectively a splatter with a kind of a pattern in the middle. Beautiful multicolours. If you turn that over, you've got a pattern with a splatter around it, and yeah, quite amazing, isn't it? So the splatter comes in from the edge, as I described them, when they're like that. So maybe that's the one we should finish with. Okay, so Snow Child 2 brings us to the end. So I do thank you for watching. If you've watched all of them, goodness sake, I do wonder what sort of life you have, but no, thank you generally, because it's been a delight for me to go through, have the opportunity of going through my records and just look at everything that I've got. I mean, at one stage I had so many that you wouldn't even think of attempting doing something like that, and they end up on the shelves. You may have time, the odd hour or two here and there, to sort of take one off and play it, but to be able to gradually go through every shelf, look at every record I've got. I know some are naff, and some of you'll be thinking, what on earth is he doing with those? But they all are in my collection for a reason. So yeah, and the only thing I've got to scratch my head about really is why there's certain things that should be there. I mean, all my Rush vinyl, I don't know where they are. All my Zeppelin, I mean, I've got original physical graffiti. Zeppelin 2 may have been one I showed you, but there's Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. There's definitely records that I'm pretty sure I would not have sold. There's always the risk that they got lost in storage when we moved house, so I may have to put up with the fact that maybe some got lost or stolen. I had about 50 or 60 boxes with records, and they were marked to show what the bands were, so I kind of knew what was where, but I didn't number the boxes. So anyway, we will have a look in the loft and see if there's anything else up there. So let's call it that, and as I say once more, big thanks to all of you who've tuned in for these mind-numbingly tedious videos. I'm sure I will do the unboxings of the S things, which I promised to do, so we'll do a video each on those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I think we did 6 boxes if I include the topographic one. And so those will be next up, and I'll have to do those in another part of the house. But anyway, thanks again for watching, and hope to see you next time, and stay tuned because the channel will continue. And there is a Floyd boot hopefully on its way soon, which is also something I'll be able to show you. So thanks again, and cheerio.